Far beyond the edge of the maps, in a land where time moves like mist over still waters, there is a river that never rests, and a soul who chose to follow its current. In Ondoria, where the world speaks in wind and water, this is the story of how one heart learned to flow. In the tranquil eastern reaches of Ondoria, cradled between two snow-crowned mountains, lay the village of Eiran. It was a place shaped by rhythm, of wind through trees, of leaves brushing stone, and above all, by the ever-moving River Lyra. The people of Eiran respected the river, but one among them had devoted his life to it, a quiet young fisherman named Eiran. Each morning before the sun crowned the hills, Eiran would step into his wooden boat and drift with the current. His nets carefully coiled, his senses open. The River Lyra was his source of food, his rhythm of life, and his teacher. But the river was not kind. It had no loyalty, no memory of yesterday. Its currents shifted without warning. Some days it flowed gently like a lullaby. Other days it roared like a wounded beast. Eiran's first seasons were marked with failure. Nets returned empty. Storms caught him midstream. Once he lost his oar to the current and drifted into the reeds for hours. And yet he returned, again and again, because something inside him knew. This wasn't just fishing, this was understanding. Over time, Eiran stopped fighting the current. He began to observe. He noticed how dragonflies hovered where fish gathered beneath. He learned the language of ripples and shadows. He felt when the river's mood shifted before the skies even darkened. He timed his casts with the breeze. He moved with the current, not against it. And slowly, the river began to give back. His nets grew heavier, but more than that, his heart grew lighter, for Eiran had begun to hear the rhythm behind the water, and it changed him. But mastery is not a shield. One twilight, as a hush fell over the forest, the winds shifted without warning. A storm rolled down from the mountain like a curse unleashed. The river turned to fury. Eiran's boat thrashed like a leaf. His training guided him, but fear still rose, raw and human. He found shelter in a rocky bend and waited through the long, violent night, alone, soaked, shivering, yet alive. When morning broke and the water calmed, Eiran looked out and smiled, not because the storm had passed, but because he had not. Days later, as Eiran coiled his nets, a voice called to him from the dock. It was Mela, an elder fisherman whose beard held more years than winter snow. Mela sat beside him and spoke without greeting. "The river doesn't change," he said quietly. "It has always flowed, always surged, always calmed, but you are not the same. You don't master the river. You become someone who belongs to it." Eiran understood. The trials, the silence, the storms, it wasn't about conquering the river. It was about transforming through it. Now, when Eiran drifted through the water, he no longer searched only for fish. He listened, he watched. The river no longer threatened him because he no longer resisted it. He flowed. His boat no longer cut through the river. It moved as part of it. Eiran had become like the River Lyra itself, quietly strong, endlessly adapting, deeply alive. And so it is with us. Life is not always calm. Its currents twist, its storms surprise, and there is no map for every bend. But with time, you can learn to listen, to move with grace instead of force, to grow strong not in stillness, but in motion. The river may not grow easier, but you grow better. As the sun dips behind Ondoria's peaks and the River Lyra glows gold beneath the sky, Eiran's boat drifts on, and somewhere deep within you the same river flows. You may not live in Eiran. You may not cast nets or chase fish, but you too face tides, storms, stillness. Remember this: You don't need to control the river. You only need to learn how to move with it. With patience, with courage, with practice, you will find your rhythm, you will find your peace, and when you do, you'll realize you were never lost, only learning to flow.